Hello, how's everybody doing? I hope you're doing fine. I hope you got my message early this morning. I was at work and I just want to give a heads up about, things that since I knew I was going to do three and I was excited that someone left me a comment about wanting me to answer a question. Now, you got to make it before I start anything, make sure you make it to the next one. Please. Because remember, okay, now you got to remember, and I'll even go back over it. Remember the first video on this series, okay? Everybody that follows the first one on this series, okay? It was about about three things scattered. It was about Selena, and then it was about my uncle, and then it was about the parable, okay, of the prodigal son, okay? Remember, go over that one if you can. I know it was kind of broken up, not so it was broken up, it was just about three subjects. But there's something in it, okay? Because I'm going to clarify. We did the parable, and then after I did that one, I did about the parable. Very important too, because like I told you, remember, when you ponder things and you let things process, you get more knowledge. It was I explained everything on it. But anyway, this comment I have to do. This one is going to be on a comment. Very beautiful comment that I got, and I copied the comment and want to read it. Like I said, for everybody who comes in who hasn't seen my videos before, I stated that when I give comments, I don't give names or anything. I just do the comment, because if you gave this comment, I'm sure other people are interested in it also. I knew a lot of people were going to be interested in Selena, but I was going to handle it in a different way. But this person wants to answer something right now. Let me read it, okay? And it goes, "Hi, could you please explain if you're an ex-Jehovah Witness yourself, and if you really fully understand the reason ex-Jehovah Witnesses get frustrated about the Selena Williams and the JW subject. I would really appreciate this information first in your upcoming video. Thanks." Okay, so here we are, and I gave her a message back saying, yes, thank you. I'm glad that she gave me something to do, something that we can talk on, okay? But I was going to get back to Selena. Selena, okay. Yes, I am an I was a Jehovah Witness, and I'm an ex-Jehovah Witness, but I think I'm just going to refresh because there's some people that, are not familiar or they didn't see the other videos. But if you look at my earlier videos, the one I pretty much started with, you'll understand my whole Jehovah Witness story. It's in detail. It's a lot of different videos, but I explain everything possible. And I actually did that for some of my family members who are still Jehovah Witnesses and can't get out, okay? And find it hard to get out, or they're afraid to get out. So if they can sneak and look at my videos, especially my nephew. I have a nephew that, and of course I'm speaking to those who just entered and they're not familiar with my station. This nephew was something else, okay? The thing I like about the time that he was growing up, he was my sister's, of course, he was we have, like, in our family, we have half brothers and sisters, and we have full brothers and sisters, but he was my full sister's son, okay? But it was funny how things happened because I was working at night, and my mother was at home, okay? So I had a chance, which was a very important time for me because I had a chance to be with my mother in the mornings, and because I worked at night, late at night, and I had a chance to see him, okay? And He was a beautiful little child, just magnificent. And that was a special time for me because if that time didn't happen, I don't think I would be as familiar with him. And I would have never had that special time with my mother because it was just like me and her. And I had grown, and every family, all our, all my siblings had grown up. So it was a special time for me. So I always think about that time, you know. But I have a little nephew that my sister would drop off and my mother would watch him. And it was the most beautiful child, I swear. I mean, I really love him. And just to make a long story short, because we got to finish this, when I got disfellowshipped, my sister told him not to speak to me. I came to the meeting once and he passed me, but we really got along so well together. And I guess she told him, don't speak to him. And that's exactly what he did. And ever since then, I never spoke with him. But one of my nieces, whose brother is, whose father is his fellowship, because there's two of us who are left the Jehovah Witness. And this thing's sound, but I'm not going to get it because I have to do the close. But I'm going to do this video first. So how can I say? Where was I? Because I wanted to do the close, but I'm not going to do the close because I have to do this now. Okay, so, I wanted to say that my niece, I was just telling you, my brother's daughter, it was just funny how politics are. But anyway, one of them got a chance to talk to my nephew. And he was holding this picture. It was like in his wallet, not on the phone. And he showed, this is my most precious picture. And it was a picture of when I was married, and he was sitting on the, on the front of the Kingdom Hall. And I was sitting there, and he was sitting there with me joking around. And he carries that picture with him all the time. It's just something special. So things like that, people like that, he could, I just did it basically for things like that. So if they they get an opportunity to see me and they get an opportunity to find out how my life went, because I explained everything. So you'll see that I am an ex-Jehovah Witness and I was a Jehovah Witness. So that answers that question. Okay, but now, this is something different. Oh, this is a question. I'm going to look at this again. Okay, understand. Okay, now, Selena Williams. Okay, I thought about her, and I'm glad I had a chance to. I didn't look at the other videos because I don't want to be persuaded by other people's opinions and things like that. Because I wanted to do this YouTube because that wouldn't be fair. Because other people have their YouTubes and they have their opinions, and I don't want to copy and you see the same thing and talk about the same thing. Although I did view one and I explained it in the first of this series, okay, on this topic. Now, this is what I have to say about Selena. One of the things is that we always thought not the sad thing, but we stuck with her because we gave her, the ex-Jehovah Witnesses I know, gave her, not power, how can we say? We liked her. We gave her, I know I did. I gave her my, how can I say? I don't know what word to use, but I really did, I'm not saying power, but I just liked her. We gave her love. Okay, that's simple. Okay, we gave her love because we knew what she was going through. And like I'm saying, a lot of ex-Jehovah Witnesses don't realize it, but by the time we finish this segment on Selena, you'll understand exactly what she's going through or what happened. Okay, but we really didn't. I think we were just hoping that she would help us, okay? But think about it now. Now that we can see in hindsight, we can actually see that she really never showed us that she was on our side, okay? But I think we were just hoping that she would, because her family's her family's Jehovah Witnesses, and we already knew that. Um, Something that we didn't want to realize ourselves, you know. Um, so her family, just think about it. So her family was always a Jehovah Witness, and we, just like I said, we excused that fact. But and we have to really come to, um, how can I say, how can I say, um, we just have to see how things really were. I mean, being honest with ourselves about the Selena matter, because, like I said, we knew her family was Jehovah's Witness. I seen her several times, well, a few times, but they didn't show it like when she was like getting her award. But we heard her say, "Thanks to Jehovah God." Okay, that was definitely public, and we brushed it off as if she didn't even say it, but she said it. So we're talking about somebody, just think about in the congregation that you go to. Think about, and I had it on one of these things. Let me see if I can put it. Let me, I'm going over something that we as ex-Jehovah Witnesses never really realized, okay? And this is one point that I didn't bring out in one of the first one of this series, you know, of these videos. This is the third one now, but the first one, and I didn't even say it. I put down this. Let me see. How did we know? Okay, how did we know not to give our opinion when we were Jehovah's Witnesses? How did we know that? Okay. I remember when I heard a brother talk about something negative that the magazine had in it. I remember I was going out in field service. I was an auxiliary pioneer. It was a time in my life. And one brother, before we would go out, this is when, you know, when you go out during the week, and he said something. They should have wrote, you know, something. I don't think it was really all that big, but I got upset in my soul. It was like, wow, why is he saying something against the um, the um, the governing body? And then I said, why did we think? Okay, when I was in school, I wrote a paper, English paper. They said give references. The only references I gave was from Jehovah's Witness, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. I mean, why? Nobody ever told me that. Okay. Why did I get upset when the professor told me, she goes, you need more references. And I actually thought that all the answers was from the brothers, from the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society governing body. I gave my trust and love to the organization. Now just think about it, okay? Nobody told us to do that. Nobody told us. I mean, we just grew. We just knew. And like I said, there's a lot of brothers and sisters who found out information. And there was one that I really do like. And every time I go back to my YouTube, I see how he's doing. But he doesn't write back. I always wonder, because it seems like he was going to have really a hard time. And he found out through knowledge, you know, like, for instance, you know, some of us who can figure it out and we think on our own. And he knew not to say anything about his doubts. And like I said, we know we can't have doubts when it comes to the organization. Nobody told us that, but we just knew. Okay. So now getting back to Selena, I was saying there's a lot of things that she was doing, and we wanted to believe that that she was going to be on our side. And now, to draw on that point that I just did, she was showing us that she had that kind of, I guess that she was showing us that she had that kind of love that I just told you about, that trust and love for the organization. I mean, that's what she was showing us, but we didn't want to recognize it. We didn't want to believe it, okay? Now that I think about it, and like I said, I heard her say that many times, thanks to Jehovah, in front of, I guess, thousands of people. And I didn't feel it because I was just saying that's not true. I mean, it can't be true, you know what I mean? But now we can see that most likely it was true. She had like I said, like what I wrote here, I gave my trust and love to the organization. So she gave her trust in her. She still has that trust and love in the organization. So, especially if you grow up in it, when you're very young and you don't find a way to switch off, I mean, it's there. And she did mention that she wants to get baptized. So that was always there. The only thing that we had to cope with as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses is that we just have to see what we tried to not believe, we just didn't want to believe it. It was like, we just thought, because of the fact that she understood the world, and when I'm telling you about the world, you know, I'm not, if I go into the Jehovah's Witness world, I'll tell you that I'm switching to that, because we've already went over that for the new people about this mindset, this Jehovah's Witness mind, and then our mind, and I separated everything to where when I use their language, I tell you that I'm using the Jehovah's Witness language. We had to do that because otherwise it makes everything so mixed up. I've seen it so many times. So when I say world, I'm just talking about the plain world. Okay. So anyway, okay, because she knew so much about the world, we thought that she would come to her senses. She can't. I mean, it's like, there's no way in the world that she would believe them, that she would continually go in that direction when she's so worldly. I mean, she knows so much, you know. She has, she's exposed to so much, but still and yet, think about it. Whenever you think about her now, think about, how we were when we gave our love and trust to the organization. And like I said, I don't care how rich, and I don't care how smart you are, because I have smart family members. But when it comes to salvation, you have to choose your salvation. And once you choose your salvation, you just don't up and just change it all of a sudden. Although with Jesus, and God, we know that we could switch over as soon as possible. Then we still have to learn a lot of things, you know. It doesn't happen overnight. So that still could happen to her. She still could realize, especially after you get baptized, you know what I mean? It will change for her, okay? Once she gets baptized, once she sees that she's really a Jehovah's Witness. You got to think of it this way. She had a lot of freedom too, because she wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. She wasn't baptized. She didn't have a lot of freedom. So I always liked her. I always supported her. That's what I wanted to say. She went through a lot of change. She did a lot of, weird stuff, like breaking the racket. I thought that was pretty cool. She broke the racket with just one movement. And I still was on her side. I was always on her side. And I always thought that God was on her side because he helped. But believe me, I think he helped her a lot. But she had to make her own decision. You know what I mean? And that's probably where the hurt comes in too. Because we gave her our support, we gave her our love, and then it's almost like she turned her back on us, but it's not really, because she's, like I said, she always showed us that her family is Jehovah's Witness, and she showed us that by saying Jehovah, thank Jehovah God, which is really creepy to me. And I know it's creepy to a lot of people, but that's what she expressed to us. So the only thing we have to do, we have to come to terms with it, to what she really was telling us and what we really wanted her to be. So, but we can't, well, of course we're not going to hate her or anything. It's just her decision. Her story's not over yet. We don't know what's going to happen. And the funny thing about ex-Jehovah's Witnesses is that they still have hope. They always have hope for people in that situation. So that's one thing I want to say is that was her decision. She puts her love and trust in the organization. So let me read that comment again. Okay, so why we get frustrated. So I think the reason why we get frustrated, like I said, just to recap, is because we always believed in her. We always thought, because she was exposed to the world and everything, and she was a Jehovah's Witness, and and another thing too, she wasn't acting as if she was a Jehovah's Witness at all. And that's what we liked about her too. We liked that she went against everything that the organization was about. Just totally. She went against totally everything. And we liked that. But she did it for another reason. Her reasons were much different than what we thought she was doing it for. So let me see. Frustrated about with the Selena and the Jehovah's Witness subject. Okay. And I guess the person also says, and the Jehovah's Witness subjects. Okay. On this station, there's so many different subjects that we reach about the Jehovah's Witnesses. And for that question, there's a lot of videos that I have that I hope that you get a chance to look over and see, because we reach a lot of topics, you know what I mean? And we also have another thing going on, because we reach a lot of topics and we do a lot of research. And there's one nice thing that we're planning. We're planning on a get-together. And not just Jehovah's Witnesses do get-togethers. That's another thing I want to explain to you. Because I told everybody that I wanted to get-together a year and a half from now. But I looked it up, and I had to look it up. And I was like, did I say the wrong word? I mean, because I don't want to use one of their terms, but people do use get-togethers. Most of the time, it's a get-together when you're not familiar with the people. I mean, like you say, let's get together. It would be more like at work or something like that. You would have a get together. You know what I mean? So it's different than the Jehovah's Witness get together. So it is different. It's not like a Jehovah's Witness get together, and we already know that. But that's something that we're planning here. But all the other topics that all ex-Jehovah's Witnesses are interested in, we cover them. And we're doing better now, because I have a lot of people, and you could probably be part in it too, where you just did. Because I keep a file on the comments that I make YouTubes about, or people that, contribute a lot of things. So I have like 4 or 5 people now who's part of the station who actually help out with the station. And you're one of them also. So I hope I answered that question all right. Is there anything else I can say about Selena Williams? Like I said, we put our trust in her. I mean, we really supported her, and we thought, she still has she had to make her own decisions. And even, it's funny because I saw a video on her, and they were saying all the things. She's a Jehovah's Witness and she does all this thing, and I was still saying she's all right. She's all right. Nobody's she. And I even thought about it all the time. I always said, "Oh, I know God loves her. I know He helps her, even though she thinks that she's a Jehovah's Witness, but now she is a baptized Jehovah's Witness." So that's it. And I'll keep up. If I find information and I find out new things about Selena, we'll stay on that topic. Like I said, I loved her. I loved her tennis. I mean, it was just so much. And like I said, I think the thing that hurt us the most was that we were cheering for her. We just knew that she was going to be on our side, and it ended up that yes, she's not going to be on our side, especially if she got baptized. You know what I mean? But then again, she has more privilege because she's rich and famous. So they usually, I don't think they give you that much privileges, because they didn't really give Michael Jackson. He was like the biggest star in the whole world, but they didn't give him all that privilege. I do think they did give him privileges because his mother really gets a lot of privileges. But the thing about Michael Jackson, he didn't want the privileges. He wanted to show what the truth was. It's different. I mean, his mother stayed a Jehovah's Witness, and she enjoyed the benefits of being rich and wealthy, and they let her do a lot of things, And but Michael Jackson was different. I mean, he was like, he didn't agree with something, and he gave his letter. I could not believe it. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's one. And you don't really know what Selena knows. I mean, she has the power to know who's running the organization. Her husband is so smart. I mean, totally smart. I'm not saying anything bad, but she could be getting money on it. I mean, you know what I mean? You don't know. In her position, not just her, but her husband is intelligent. If he stays with her, I would have to say that she knows who runs the Jehovah's Witness. I mean, and they could have asked for her help too. You just don't know. I don't know. You don't know the full story. I don't know. You don't know the full story. Just the way it's done. There's something else there, though. So I'm going to keep up with the Selena thing. I know that there's something else there. Like I said also, there's another thing I want to explain. She could be afraid, okay? There's a lot of fear in the Jehovah's Witnesses. And that could be it also. So you can't really give up on her, because there's a lot of fear. When I was Jehovah's Witness, I was very fearful for a lot of things. And if that's her salvation, if she really believes and that's the way that her life is going to be saved, or that's her way, then, like I said, that's what she believes in, which is going to be hard to convince her. But there's a lot of fear too, because she would lose her family. I mean, her family would, I don't know what family members she has, her friends or whatever. So there's a lot of things to look at, but I'm going to look into that a little bit more, since I do have the channel, and a lot of the topics the people that listen to me are really interested in. So I know if this person's interested in, I'm going to give this again, especially on this series. Like I said, we're doing this series on, this is a prodigal, I call it the Prodigal Son series, okay? Because this is the third one. The comment is the one that made me do this video early. So I'm going to keep up with that topic, and thank you, and continue to give me a comment, because now you're part of the working force of the Pierre Dur Ex-Jehovah's Witness channel. Thank you very much. And the next video, you have to, okay? The next one is going to be on a continuation of the Prodigal Son. Okay, thank you.